How's your week?
Busy as well. We have one more really busy week, and then we'll be. Let's see. Oh, very flat.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So lesson switches start next week. Yeah, next week.
So next week is going to be on Friday
Instead of Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool.
So you have a little extra time, and we'll be in whichever room I sit on there, 206, I think.
Oh, we won't be.
Right. I know you're warming up, but when you watch the video, check out your default bow angle. Do you know what it is? Yeah.
Is it more like? Okay.
Yeah. You can find a lot about when somebody's just sort of half consciously just warming up. It's like boom, all that happens is just jump out. So. Yeah, it's already tilting there. The tough thing is that the angle your bass is at. What kind of end pin is that? You know how it gets. Someday we could experiment with the bent end pin if you wanted. The advantage of it is it gets the bass just in a better place for both of your hands to be. Because right now your bass is like at your eye level, that's good, but the nut's close to your eye, which is great, but you're having to reach down so far to get there that it makes sense that your bow's wanting to tilt that way.
Yeah.
And then if we had your, basically ideally we would have your contact point more like here as opposed to down here flat. So imagine if it were here, you could actually have your bow up a little more.
Mm-hmm.
But
then this would be like.
Well, it would be tilted back a little bit, but there's room to make up. You can get the two. So on this one, so if I were holding this thing up and down, it would be. This would be the wrong one on the screen. It would be a little tall, but actually this would be about the right place, but this would be too tall. But it's because of the bent end pin, so I can put it here. So this is about the right place, and then this I'm a little more diagonal maybe with the bass, but both hands are in really comfy spots. My weight comes down here as opposed to reaching down here, because you're effectively reaching down this far, which is just tricky. For jazz, it's actually nice too, because it's just hanging out here. You don't reach down so far, it's more like. But that would be an adventure for another day. But it's something we can, depending on your interest level, we could get into that.
I'm interested, yeah.
The easiest thing, since your bass does have that kind of end pin, is to get some sort of contraption like this. They make a new version of them. I don't know how much they are. They're probably like $100 or so.
So I can do both. Yeah,
you could do both. But I mean, you could just certainly test mine out in a lesson, and we could talk about it. And you could see what you think.
Yeah.
A lot of mainly classical players started out using those, but then there's a few other guys. Do you know Rufus Reed?
No.
Amazing jazz guy. He's I can't list all the people he played with, but he was at a lot of the bass conventions, hanging out with everybody else, and so they talked him into trying it. And once he started doing it, he's like, oh man, so the bass just sort of sits there naturally, and you're not holding it up with your thumb, and suddenly he felt a lot more fluid with the left hand. So.
And Gunnar Biggs has told me that too.
Oh, okay. Alright, I forgot you've already.
Yeah, he hasn't been in.
Gunnar has infiltrated your thoughts.
Yeah.
All right. Let's check out those. What 3 octaves do you get to do?
F.
Oh. Okay.
Did G and
Last time was F. Okay, so this is F, and then I wanted to review the 2 octave D flat.
Yeah.
If you're.
Yeah. D flat.
Let's do F first. So 3 octave F.
Thumb is on the D.
You can go from the G. Yeah, there you go. That's right. That's right. But use the D harmonic. Use the D harmonic for your thumb. There you go. So a little higher with the E. D. Three.
I could do that octave again.
You're a little low. That's it. 3. Good. Okay. So the main thing to remember once we get into these 3 octaves is the different hand shapes. So your top one is about right. So D, with the top, very top one. So when you have D harmonic, so it's going to be this whole half, right? So space is here, less space here. But the lower one, what's that shape going to be?
Well, they're all so
like this. Whole, half, whole. Yeah.
Okay.
And so when you're going up, you can often just feel it out. You don't think so much, but when you're coming back, you have to actually be very conscious of that. So you come back, you find the 3, and as soon as the 3 is placed, you need to space your 2 and 1. So play the thumb here. Wait, play the thumb on the D. Play the thumb on the D. Now find C with the 3rd finger, and just have your hand in a comfortable position, sort of all together. There you go. Now, as soon as that 3 is down, space out a whole step there. It feels weird, but if you're not used to it. Yeah, that's it. Then 1, so half step, now whole step. Yeah. So we're gonna usually, as we work through the different 3 octave scales, you're gonna have to memorize these different hands situations, shapes, and it's almost like they're gonna be spring loaded. So you go boom, boom, and it just sort of pops into that natural shape because the faster we get, there's not time to say, well, okay, now Janelle reach this one, now reach. You need to do them in groups. So boom, 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 however those shapes are. So that'll just be something I want you to think about as you're working through these, especially as you're coming down. Because again, going up, sometimes you can just sort of get used to it. Although I'd still like you to remember that weird hand shape that you have to do the. Yeah, exactly. Roll your weight just like you did. A little way, a little higher, then make your way on the D harmonic. There you go. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Good. Now, next thing, have we talked about centering harmonics or finding the harmonics? Okay, so
I know the D harmonic.
So do you remember what a node looks like on your string? A harmonic node?
No.
Do you know what I mean by that? Okay, so you can see the full string vibrating, right? So when I press this note here, you see what happens? Right where I'm pressing it, nothing is happening here. It's like the higher that we're hitting. And this string splits itself into 2 parts. So both sides of these are vibrating, but nothing's happening here. Now here's the freaky one. What happens if I split it into 3 parts? Notice right here, it's not moving either. See that? So the string has split itself into 3 sections. It's giving me the shape.
That's
really
cool.
interesting. And you can see it on a bass string better than others. So if I do it here, watch here. Harder to see, but right there, nothing's moving. Now the same thing happens. It's just harder to see. I'm trying to go hard, so you can see here and here.
Yeah, it's not right there.
So why that's helpful for us to know is when you're playing a harmonic, if you're feeling friction against your finger, that means you're getting to the edge of that right, a hurricane, you're getting off the center. So when we're practicing harmonics, especially here, there's a much smaller window, but if try this right here with your thumb, because your thumb has to sort of get sensitized to this. I want you to go slightly in and out, and I want you to feel the friction at the one end of the harmonic. It's about this big a change. You keep going pretty hard. You feel it fighting you, and it doesn't fight you now. Go a little too far. It should start fighting you again. So we're gonna just sensitize your thumb to that as we're working here. So I can do it pretty there. Like that's how fast I can find it usually. It's like a little wiggle and boom. Yeah, actually you're a little. I think you're a little off there.
Yeah.
So now instead of moving your whole hand, have your hand there and then just try wiggling your. So get your hand a little more to the side rather than up right now. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And then you should find this spot. Now try the G. G has even a smaller area where it works. That's not quite on. There, that was better. Maybe you're a little too low now. Not too high, yeah. Yeah, there you found it. And then as progressively as you get up, you have smaller and smaller. That's pretty small by there. But here it's actually pretty forgiving. As you saw, that's a pretty big space here. Where it's not moving. So you could actually be. I mean, none of the violinists would laugh at us that we could be like almost an inch off and still get the harmonic.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, so once you're up here, that's going to be one thing that you need to be just aware of. Are you in the middle of a harmonic? Uh-oh, something just happened there. Or is it just trying to look you? I don't know if it stopped your video or not.
I think I'm good. There we go.
Is it still going?
We're good.
Okay, so the reason I'm talking about that partly is we're trusting this D to tell us where the E is. But if your D is off by, say, that much, your E's not going to be in tune. So it's really important that you're right in the center of that harmonic before you trust it to say, now an E is this far away. I don't know, where should, that sounds better right there to me. There you go. Yeah. I think we were doing F right. Yeah. Good, okay. There you go. Yeah. Alright, so physics lesson of the day. But it is freaky, isn't it?
That's so cool.
It's going on.
That's crazy.
But that's the whole thing with harmonics, is it just progressively splits your string into more and more parts.
I never noticed that.
When does your lesson starts at 11, right?
Yes.
Okay. 8 usually. Wait, Christian's way early. I just wanted to make sure I didn't lose track of time too badly. All right, so that was a little detour, but it's good. It's important stuff to know, and it's cool, and it's important. Can you just do D flat 2 octaves, since that was a little tricky last week? Is the top, make sure you don't need to keep your thumb in place as you move to the last notes, because you're yeah, well, okay, it looks like you're still holding with your thumb. Maybe it's not. Is your thumb relaxed when you're playing those last 2 notes?
It does move a little bit.
Oh, but you don't have weight on it, right?
Oh no.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure that your weight really was leaning over these fingers and not. Okay, that's fine.
Oh, that was other.
It was more that your hand was looked like it was stretching out.
Oh,
and I just wanted to make sure your weight was still going with the top notes. That's fine. So what 3 octave scale you want to add on for this week? Or week and a half? You want to do 2? Or what have we done so far? We've done
F and G.
F and G. Why don't we fill in the gaps and you could do E and F sharp. Or you could do F sharp and A flat.
We could do E. I like E and F sharp.
E and F sharp, okay. Next time, E and F sharp. Okay, what do we have for bowing?
Number 8.
shape in composition, shapes in composition, and the center of harmonics. Actually, might be an interesting. I'm trying to think of other ideas for videos that people will find interesting beyond. I mean, it's
that's one of the like long tones and.
The first one was just the mindfulness long tone thing.
Mm-hmm.
I did one about rousing that I'll post later on. I want to do some scales stuff, but things like that, you know, like things we get into in the lesson that are just fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Are worth putting on. Fuller tone, what would you need to do to just get a little more resonance out of your bass as you do that? There you go. Nice. Yeah, so we just always want to go for getting a little more resonance as long as you're not, you know, overexerting yourself. Well, let's hear it. Going to that final forte, do you remember how much resonance you got at the very beginning when I was making you do that? Can you do that last line and see if you can work your way to getting that really full? So we're going to start mezzo forte in measure 23, and give me a nice crescendo and end up with just big resonance. There you go. Yeah, you just sort of have to find it out of your bass. Obviously, some basses allow you to get a little more. Yeah, this one doesn't. Yeah, this one just has a little more in it, I guess. Oh, that's pretty good. You just have to remember to get there, and then remember what you have to do to support it. So once you start playing that big, you need to remember to use your full body. Don't just use your arm, but. Slight motion. Think about using your back. Yeah. 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 Good. All right. So this is actually what's interesting is once you start pushing it this big, what doesn't work?
The G string.
Well, okay. So G string in general. There's like one or two other places that just sort of dropped out on you and then you came back. So if you want to keep pushing this direction, you just have to notice what doesn't work and figure out what small adaptations you have to do. So G strings, try using a little more low speed, maybe a little less weight. No, just a little less, not a lot. Is it a wolf? Is that what's going on? Do you have a wolf on And then if you do it, just make sure you support it with your, larger back muscles or large, your whole torso, so your arm isn't doing all the work.
Muscles.
And again, I mean, your base isn't set up absolutely ideal for the Arco stuff, but we'll push it to see what it'll let you do. Okay, number 9, similar, but these are a lot of offset slurs, and she's going to make sure you sustain. Dum ba da ba da ba da ba da. Make sure it's not bum ba dum ba dum, but it's bum ba da ba da ba dum. F sharp actually. Yeah, but
F sharp.
Same. Good. Yeah. So. Yeah. So you have to. Again, we're just like adding one more ball that you're juggling here. Just seeing if you can keep a full sound. I think most of the fingerings in here are incorrect. I think they got shifted from the wrong. I think they got
4 on E.
They got shifted to the left by 1 note. Not all of them, just these are the ones that I think these are shifted, should be shifted over. This and these next, the second, third, and fourth 4s on the second line should be shifted over by a note.
Mm-hmm.
And also the 4 on the third line. So don't let those throw you off. Or just this is your book?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you could just move all of those over. Do you have a pencil there?
I'll get one.
Okay.
Pencil.
There you go. And you just go ahead and circle those. Now so you don't
save myself trouble.
Yes, exactly. So it's 2 and 4, and then the second, third, and fourth 4s. I think the first one is actually.
Oh, first one's good.
Well, you know what? I'm not sure about the first one. It's might not. No, actually I think the first one is good, and then that one should shift over. I think. All right. So number 9. Oh, we need to hit your traditional stuff.
Yes. Wednesday. Woohoo.
And did you figure what's happening with accompaniment?
Yeah, I'm having accompanist and we did a rehearsal.
Okay. You already did one?
Mm-hmm.
Did it go okay?
Yeah, it went fine. It was night and day playing this
with a piano?
with an accompanist. like without an accompanist, I was like it was just so much better.
Good. Okay.
Also, I'm gonna start with Volga.
Okay.
But what's 60?
Yeah, I like how you're supporting the tone in the upper, in the thumb position. You're getting a nice tone out of that. Very good. Cool.
Boom.
And 18?
Old French song.
Also at 60. You only have to memorize one tempo.
Yeah, I've been trying not to speed up since I'm pushing the time on a little bit.
Good dim at the end. Yeah, I was gonna say, don't worry about the time too much because I signed off on it, so it's my responsibility as much.
Okay.
And we just need to have some contrast, so this is good. What was I gonna say? The one place to watch is your intonation on the D string up in third position, because it's not the B. So the B with the fourth finger is pretty consistent, but when you do it with the second finger, it tends to be a little low. So make sure you're really. That pivot is a full whole step pivot, not sort of 5/6 of a whole step.
Yeah, I can hear
there
that.
There you go. And the C. There you go. Yeah. Now go back. Now go back down. Oh. Wait, find that A again. I wasn't absolutely. Play your open A string. It's a little low actually. There you go. Yeah, there you go, A. Right, then, yeah, there you go. There you go. That B is still just a hair low. Too far. This is like a wiggle of that kind of thing, but it. It's a little hard to hear in that range.
Yeah.
It's because it's sort of a fuzzy sound.
Yeah, B definitely has to be low.
Working with a tuner like that, you're sort of doing it now, but what I would do is get on a note and then make sure you really think it's in tune. Don't be half sure, but be really sure, and then look at the tuner and see what it tells you. That'll give you more reference, because that'll be training your ear as opposed to. So find what you think is really good A. Now find a B that you like. The tuner is just sort of like a secondary reference. Good. All right. So I think those two will be in good shape. Did you have time to do any Paganini? Do we have that as a maybe?
I did not. But we can still go over it.
We don't necessarily need to. But I'll just pass on one thing that I was working on with Elian and see if it's applicable to you as well.
Okay.
It's back. It's on 15.
15.
We were talking about actually. So on this one, there's a lot of movement from the G string down to here. And what I was talking to him about is not just using the arm like this, but actually using your upper body to come around to support the G string is a very different place than where the upper body needs to be on the E. So like here I'm almost leaning back. Right in the middle. I was going to move your computer for a second, so I'm in the middle of it. Or not in the middle, but so I'm at least on the screen a little more. There we go. So if I'm playing on the G string, my upper body actually sort of comes up here, so as opposed to, and I'm almost going to the side of the bass so my bass out here. So can you try to play a low G and sort of have your body to the side, or I mean just feel where your torso needs to be, and now go to the open G. Itself a little more. See, he's using the bend end pin, so I'm a little more similar to what he's doing. Where it's more like a little more. We're actually a little freer.
Moving the body rather than moving the bass.
Yeah. But yeah, either way, you want to just make sure it doesn't work quite as well because you're having to come over the edge a little more. It's a little like your edge is more like here on you, and my corner is down a little further, so I can actually get over the top. It just occurred to me, I wonder if I could get the school to actually buy 1 or 2 bent end pins for y'all to try out. The basses that do. Okay, I mean, I know that's your bass, but let me think about that too. But yeah, so this one, just make sure wherever you are that you're supporting, so whether that means moving your bass or moving you. So. And be a little probably around your contact point or the middle of the bow. Don't be at the frog. Because if you're the frog, it's going to sound choppy. As opposed to so you're doing backwards bow. Elian did the same thing. I don't know. So somehow it looked like you were doing up, down. I think you're doing up, down, up, down. Maybe I missed all.
I can.
But yeah, just smooth going. So notice that first one's a pivot. It doesn't feel comfortable necessarily. Now you do a shift. Pivot again. Now these are shifts. Pivot. Ha. Well, I know it's not what we expect, but in Samantha that would always be a shift.
Yeah, I got it. Going guy.
And then in this one too, it's just gonna be a pivot, which is not. Yeah. So your thumb might need to be a little higher on the G, on the low G than you normally would have it. Yeah, but if you can get the thumb in the right place for this, then. As opposed to. There's not friction, so. Yeah. So I know they feel a little weird, but that's part of the point of this piece is just to practice those pivots. So add that on when you can after the divisional. You can focus on the other stuff you want to say. Yeah, and so in that one, you want to make sure that there's tone and articulation, but just make sure, just nice and nothing too stiff. Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good though. And if we could press a button to change off the spire chords into flexichords and then go back to the spire chord, we're good. Okay, any other questions for you?
I'm happy that my divisional pieces are good.
Yeah.
I guess, I was definitely worried about that, but.
Yeah, no, I think that'll be good.
Awesome.
Thanks for staying on top of the paperwork. Or making sure you checked about it.
Yes, I was. Because I got that. Yeah, luckily that I got it the day before, not the day of. Yeah, because I looked at it and it was like faculty signature. I went with one of my friends, and I was like, oh, like, do I get like Professor Gertz to sign this? He's like, oh no, you get Jeremy, and I'm like, crap. Yeah. Like, he's not on campus. But,
all right.
Awesome.
All right, so I'll see you. Well, I'll see you on Wednesday. I'm gonna come for to hear you guys to hear you guys practice the quartet.
Chimera.
Yeah. Wait, when is your divisionals? What time?
Wednesday,
What time though?
11:30.
11:30. Yeah, it won't be. So at least that'll be done. I'll ask you how it went.